This is CBS 7 News at 10. Your eye on West Texas.
Hello and welcome to your Saturday edition of CBS 7 News at 10. I'm Christopher Saul. We start off tonight with some breaking news out at Midland International Airport, where a commercial plane made an emergency landing a couple of hours ago. Details are still coming into the newsroom at this time as CBS 7's Brianna Gallegos joins us live from the airport. Brianna, what's going on?
Christopher, around 8:30 this evening, we received calls that Midland Fire Department and police were on their way to Midland International Airport. They came out after a plane made an emergency landing. The plane made the emergency landing after air control and the pilot noticed that there was a malfunction with the plane. We talked to Midland police. They told us that everything was fine after they did that inspection. No one was hurt on the plane or during the landing. The inspection went well. The plane was cleared. They have taken off. The plane is an Air West plane. That plane or that company is contracted out through United Airlines. Right now, that is all the information that we do have. Live in Midland, Brianna Gallegos, CBS 7 News.
All right, thank you, Brianna. Now, Midland Fire and Rescue are on the scene of a house fire near the water park on Midland Drive. No one was injured as everyone was able to escape the fire before it got too big. Officials still don't know what started that fire, but continue to battle the blaze. Neighbors tell us they heard electrical sparks just before this fire ignited. We'll stay on this for you at CBS 7 and at CBS7.com. And a ring was stolen from a dead woman this morning in Odessa. The family has another thing to grieve about besides the loss of their loved one. Now they're searching for a family heirloom. CBS Brianna Gallegos spoke to the family, and here is what she found out.
For 2 months and been sick.
Been hard enough these last 3 days for the children of Louise Hicks, but it got much worse after an unidentified woman walked straight into Sunset Memorial Home and stole their mother's wedding ring right off her hand.
A really disgraceful thing to do.
We were heartbroken enough losing my mom, but then it killed us, made it worse.
The video captured by Sunset Funeral Home security cameras shows this woman leaning into the casket and forcefully pulling Louise Hicks' ring off of her finger. The funeral home says this is a bizarre act.
They've never had nothing like that happen before.
The woman in the surveillance camera left Hicks' hand like this.
Her ring was off of her finger and it was just had been yanked and pulled on, and it was really red and it broke her skin.
Hicks' daughters are still in shock and can't believe anyone would steal from another person, much less someone who can't protect themselves.
No one to protect her there. The jewelry is nothing compared to what she's done, to Mother and our family.
The family says the ring wasn't just jewelry. It represented her unity with her late husband, who passed away 4 years ago. Hicks' daughter told us she is ready to be reunited with her love, and the ring represented just that. If anyone has any information, you can contact Odessa Police Department. In the studio, Brianna Gallegos, CBS 7 News.
And according to the Loving County Sheriff's Office, the gas leak on a well in Loving County has stopped spewing natural gas. Crews were able to stop the flow of the natural gas at about 3 this afternoon. Earlier today, Apache and Wild Well Control employees were able to cut the blowout preventer off of the well. The well has been spewing gas since this past Wednesday when a natural gas leak opened up the well in Loving County. Now, sheriff's deputies had ordered a voluntary evacuation of a nearby man camp. The county road near the site has reopened for regular travel. And the family of Ben Moore released a statement on his condition today. You may remember Moore was briefly accused of strangling his wife and making it look like a suicide. He was cleared of all charges after an autopsy ruled that the wounds on his wife, Natasha Morris, were self-inflicted. Moore and Morris had a history of domestic violence, and officials with the city say Moore made no attempt to save her life. She died in the hospital several days later. This family is asking for privacy during this time. And if you're a heavy sleeper like me, you may have never guessed that it rained last night by looking outside this afternoon. It's actually been a pretty beautiful day outside. Tom Tieferteller joins us in the Pinpoint Weather Center. I hear it's not going to stay that way though, right, Tom?
It does look like a few more changes are in the forecast. Everybody picking up close to half an inch of rain last night across most areas of West Texas, southeast New Mexico. Not a lot going on this evening as things have quieted down quite a bit with temperatures out there. Very nice, very pleasant this evening with the upper 60s right across the Permian Basin down to the Trans-Pecos, down to the mountain areas. A little chilly now, 52 in Marfa as winds are out of the southeast up to 23 miles an hour in Fort Stockton. Expecting those to calm down a little bit, may bring in some Gulf moisture though into our forecast into the overnight hours, so we may wake up to a few more clouds for the start of your Sunday, and that may give way to an isolated thunderstorm or two in our forecast by tomorrow afternoon as we're going to see another disturbance roll across the area.
All right, thank you so much, Tom. And volunteers with the Red Cross of the Permian Basin and the Midland Fire Department canvassed neighborhoods this morning to let people know about a new fire campaign prevention. Now, next weekend, the Red Cross will be out installing smoke detectors for free in the area around Midland Firehouse number 6. The groups chose Fire District 6 because it suffered the most fires in the most recent reporting period. To prepare for the event, volunteers knocked on doors and placed door hangers. According to Red Cross volunteers, the smoke detectors can and will save lives.
Is critical for people to just be aware of the importance of smoke alarms, the importance of checking your batteries, having an escape plan. All of those things add up in saving your life.
In order to get a free smoke detector, you need to sign up at the fire department. Only those who register will get a free smoke alarm. Experts say that this program has saved at least 60 lives since the beginning of this year. Now, Books in the Basin, an event that celebrates reading and brings world-famous authors to West Texas, continues today. Hundreds of people showed up at Odessa College to meet rising stars in the literary world as well. Sandra Brown headlined the event. The author of romance and thriller novels shared her secrets to being a success with aspiring writers.
Oh, it's been great. Every year we have a little bit more and a little bit more, and I've been darting in and out of panels and sessions, and they're full, and people are engaged and asking questions, and it's very active.
Well, that event, of course, ended today at 4. And a 4-car pileup has stopped traffic in a neighborhood at the intersection of Devonian and Parkdale on the city's southwest side. One car, the white Nissan sedan you're seeing on your screen right now, plowed into other cars on the street. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt. The driver of the car was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. No one else was in the other 3 cars. We'll bring you more information on the crash, of course, as we receive it. And one parent's concerned about an alleged outbreak of super lice going around at Ector County schools has many questioning the way the district deals with the contagious bugs. For 3 years, schools across Texas have stopped sending kids home for lice. Schools across the state deal with the head lice on a case-by-case basis because the Texas Department of Health Services says lice is not considered a health threat.
They were concerned about children being called out or ostracized, sort of made fun of for having head lice. And they said the benefit of doing mass classroom checks was not warranted.
Well, whenever a student is believed to have lice, they are given a private exam by the school nurse, and a letter is sent home to their parent only with written information explaining how to get rid of those bugs. And it also brought to our attention that Peace Elementary sent home a letter to parents yesterday warning them of a lice outbreak. But ECISD spokesman Mike Adkins says he was unaware of the action and will be speaking with the principal to ask why this was done. And a woman celebrated her 100th birthday. Not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 4 generations spent the afternoon together socializing and eating cake. Now, Ruth Amos held her great-great-granddaughter were both the life of the party this afternoon. From family, friends, many people celebrated Ruth's big birthday. It was an even bigger celebration with cake and a photo booth. Ruth says she doesn't have any secrets, just advice to live by.
Keep on doing what you've always done. Don't quit and give up and just keep going.
Well, that's good advice for anyone of any age. Happy birthday, Ruth. And the Old Sorehead Trade Days were held today in Stanton. Hundreds of people came out to buy, sell, and trade with one another. It's the first trade day of this year, and there are 2 more weekends, one in the summer and one in the fall, if you can't make it this particular weekend. And the Honor Flight of the Permian Basin hosted a Spirit Day at the Chick-fil-A on 42nd Street. The group put out games and entertainment to draw crowds to the popular restaurant. All of the money raised today goes to Honor Flight, which brings veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces to Washington, D.C. The group's organizers want as many veterans to go as possible while they still can.
Well, our World War II and Korea War veterans, we're losing them very rapidly day by day. And we want to give them the opportunity from this community showing our appreciation for their service by letting them see the war memorials that was built in honor of the ones that they served with.
Well, CBS 7 proudly sponsors the Permian Basin Honor Flight. And the number of rigs in the Permian Basin dropped again this week, hitting another all-time low. Just 96 rigs were operating at the end of this week, 2 less than a week ago here in the basin. The number of rigs in the state dropped as well from 204 to 197 this week. There are now just 443 rigs operating in the United States. The only states that saw an increase in drilling activity, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Ohio, each gained 1 rig. And more than 100 fans of the Lake Cumbia star Selena gathered at the Music City Mall this afternoon to celebrate her life and the work she did to help children. Participants danced, sang, and even had a Selena look-alike and sing-alike contest. Fans who showed up say her music and the good she did will never fade away.
As we need to help more kids, and I think we all need to step to the plate to be able to help them to have something in life to be able for them to be happy.
Well, the Mexican American Musical Association, which put on the event, was started by Selena's mother to advance Mexican music in America. The event ended earlier this evening. And coming up on CBS 7 News at 10, Tom Teefer will give you that full 7-day forecast you've been waiting for. We'll be right back. Welcome back to CBS 7 Weekend News at 10. Let's get to your national and international headlines. Syrian Christians who were forced from their town of Kiryat earlier this month by Islamic State militants returned home today. The group fled ISIS as they advanced towards the central part of the war-torn nation. Many of villagers were taken prisoner by the Islamic State as they fled and were kept in an underground prison. They were eventually released in a prisoner swap between the Islamic State and the Syrian government. Now, Syrian government forces aided by a detachment of Russian troops helped liberate the town. And it's a story we probably see in television dramas every day. A hero cop saves a woman after a horrible beating. In another episode, he saves a man from certain death. And yet another one, we encounter an unconscious woman. But it's not a TV show. It's the story of a New Jersey police officer, Brian Stockbrine. Stockbrine is credited with saving 3 lives in just 10 days. He's also earned the gratitude of those he has saved. But he just says he's just doing his job.
Today, I was so proud to be a police officer. I was so proud to work for this department. And, it reminded me why I wanted to do this job.
Say her husband.
Well, Officer Stockbrine says he had the best job in the world, and he's just lucky to be a police officer. As you can imagine, he is named the Officer of the Month in the town in New Jersey where he serves. And coming up next, we have a look at sports in the basin with Sarah Holden. Sarah, what's going on in your world?
Well, Christopher, the big leagues threw out their first pitch last week, but this week, little leaguers from around the basin headed out to their field of dreams, and we were there too. CBS 7's Jay Hendricks.
Now, I'm not too proud to say that I have a baby picture amongst all of the blue bonnets. It's very beautiful. I have very chubby cheeks. It's really great. Now, Tom, there's a lot of weather going on, so tell me, what's the next week going to look like?
Well, we are going to see tomorrow. We're watching out for the possibility of a few thunderstorms late in the day, but we'll start off next week. Breezy conditions on Monday.
All right, I can live with that. And Sarah, you were just telling me the final score for the Rockhounds game tonight is in. How'd it go?
The Rockhounds took this one 4-1. They beat the Travelers, so that's exciting.
All right, guys. See you back here tomorrow night, 10 o'clock.